If you haven't met me yet, my name is Bree. This is a 40-minute flow. It's always different. Well, I shouldn't say it's always different. Sometimes it's same, but different. If you have props, make sure to have them out. Blocks, strap, bolster. And we're going to get started seated on a block. So, if you don't have a block, you don't have to use it. That's the first thing. Because you don't have it, but they're very cheap and they're very nice. They help with just making all these postures a little bit easier. So I'm sitting with a block lengthwise, like lengthwise, longest width or widest width in between my heels. And if you want to have a little more height, you can just quarter turn it. I actually just did that. And then I'm going to lift onto one sit bone, grab the inner thigh and the glute, which is the butt, and internally rotate it and then sit back down. So what this is allowing for you to do is sit more in front of your sit bones. Your pubic bone should be slightly tilted forward, and it's bringing your pelvis into an anterior pelvic tilt. All right. Pull the base of your ribs back if you notice that they're jutting forward. Bring the tops of your ears back into space, but keeping the ribs stacked over the hips. Extend your crown of the head towards the sky. Let your palms face down for a grounding energy. If it feels okay in your body, close your eyes and just take a moment to arrive. Settle into this posture, this more aligned posture. And as you breathe, notice where you're breathing in your body. Rather than doing that deep belly breath that we sometimes do, I invite you to breathe into the back of your body. Breathe into the sides of the body. Begin to get curious how much a full inhale truly is for your lungs. And practice making your breath an even fluctuation of the breath. So you're breathing in for the same amount of counts that you're breathing out for. And we'll try adding a count together. Release any breath in the lungs. Inhale through your nose for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep that breath 3 more rounds on your own. Noticing that little pause between the inhale and the exhale. Begin to bring your hands to Anjali Mudra, a prayer, an offering symbol, a symbol of reverence. If you have an intention you want to set for your practice on your mat today, take a few breaths, bring your awareness inward, and just ponder what you're bringing forward today in your practice, what you're offering up to yourself, to your mat, to the practice. And take a soft little bow, forehead to fingertips. Reach your crown back up towards the sky. Inhale, reach your arms high. Keep the ribs stacked over the hips. Exhale, grab your right wrist, side bend up and over towards the left. Press down and out through your pelvis. Inhale, come through center. Switch it up, take that side bend the other way. Inhale, come through center. Reach your arms up. Practice lifting up from the middle finger and the thumb. And breathe into your back body. Take an inhalation. Exhale, bring the prayer all the way down to heart center. Now make one hand a fist and press a fist into your other palm. And as you press the fist into the palm, allow your collarbones to spread wide from east to west, or think about the shoulder blades broadening on the back body. And breathe into your back body. Another breath here. And exhale, release. Inhale, reach all the way up high. Again, reaching up from the thumb and from the middle finger, lengthening through the back side and the front side of the body. Exhale, opposite fist to palm. Press the fist into the palm while your shoulders spread wide from east to west. Breathe into that back body. And 2 more cycles of breath. Working to create that even fluctuation of the breath. And release. Inhale, circle sweep, reach up, lift off of your block if you were on it, or just off of your heels. If you're not faced towards the front of the mat, make sure that you are. And then step or pull your right knee in towards your chest and step the right foot forward, low lunge. Squeeze your inner thighs towards each other for stability here. If there is a little bit of tension in the knee, you are always welcome to fold your mat down and place a little extra 2 times the padding underneath your back knee. Hug your back shin in towards the midline. Take an inhalation. Let the pelvis be stable and lengthen up through the sides of the waist even more so. Grab your left wrist, side bend up and over towards the right, just a little bow. Press down and out through your legs. Inhale and come back through center. Exhale, begin to bring your arms back. Shift your hips back to a half split. In half split, your pelvis is going to come into an anterior tilt, ideally, if your hamstrings allow you, and your right sit bone goes back and up to the sky. We're balancing here, but you could always bring your hands down if you don't want to lift the arms. Press the right big toe down into the ground nice and strong and pull back into space, building a structure of strength around the back of the leg, the hamstring, as you stretch. Inhale, ripple your way forward. Bring your hands to a prayer. Bring the prayer back down to heart center. Transfer your weight to your left knee and just send your weight back. Unfold your mat, or it'll naturally unfold on its own. Second side, inhale, reach up. Pull that left knee in and plant your left foot forward. Grab that support if you would like it for your back knee. Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Actively press the left foot down into the mat and pull back into space. Squeeze your inner thighs towards each other. Find your breath. Inhale, lengthen up through the sides of your waist. Exhale, catch your right wrist, side bend up and over towards the left. From the pelvis, press down and out through your legs into the earth. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, half split. Send your hips back and straighten out through your left leg. Press your left big toe down into the mound, big toe mound down into the ground. As you tilt your hips towards the sky, notice what your rib cage is doing. If you're going into a back bend, pull the base of your ribs back, having a little bit more strength in the front of the body. Pull your shoulders back. Inhale, reach your arms forward, low lunge. Send your weight back until your hip is just stacked over the knee. And bring your left leg back, palms to heart, Anjali Mudra. Unfold your mat if it was folded, and come to a tabletop position. Spread nice and wide through your fingers. Pull back through your fingertips. Inhale, tilt your sit bones to the sky. Melt through your heart to a cow spine. And as you exhale, press your hands and your knees into the mat. Round. Puff up into the back body. Cat. Come to a more neutral tabletop. Now, press the earth away a lot and feel what happens in your shoulder blades. They should be kind of puffing up in the back body, and your shoulder blades are going wide. It's called protraction of your shoulders. Now, do the opposite. Melt your heart, pull the head of the arm bones back, squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other. That's called retraction of your shoulder blades. Let's practice those two one more time. Press the earth away, so nothing else is changing in the shape. Protraction. And then pull your shoulders back, retraction. Now let's explore the other two motions. Lift your shoulders up by the ears. Feel your traps kind of engage there. Maybe you might not feel that comfortable, but it's normal. It's called a normal function of the shoulder. It's called elevating the shoulder. And then pull your shoulders down, down, down the back body. As far as they go, your shoulder blades are going to engage a little bit more, engaging a muscle by the back called your serratus anterior. All right, one more time. Bring your shoulders up, elevating the shoulders. And now bring your shoulders back, deviation of the shoulders. All right, now let's do them all. Protract your shoulders, puff up into the back body. Retract your shoulders, pull the shoulder blades in towards each other. Elevate your shoulders, bring the shoulders up by the ears. And then bring the shoulders all the way back down, deviation of the shoulders. All right. Now, so you've played with all that shoulder movement. Now let's check in with the movement of the pelvis. Begin to shift your butt high to the sky. This is called an anterior tilt in your pelvis. Nothing is really changing with your core or your shoulders. And then tuck your tailbone. A posterior tilt of the tail. Avoid moving your thigh bones or your legs at all. Two more like that. Untuck your tail. So you're isolating a spinal movement in the low back and the sacrum. Anterior tilt. Tuck the tailbone down. A posterior tilt. Last time like that. Anterior tilt. Send your sit bones high to the sky as your pubic bone comes forward. And exhale, posterior tilt. Come to a more neutral position. One at a time, bring your forearms to the earth. All right, now protract your shoulder blades. Press into your forearms nice and strong. And then at the same time, tilt your sit bones to the sky. Anterior tilt your pelvis. So it might feel like a little bit of a hybrid of cat and cow. Drive your knees down into the mat, and it's like you're trying to rip the mat apart with your knees. Go wide with the knees. Take an inhalation. And as you exhale, start to walk your knees all the way back. Land your hips on the earth. Find a sphinx pose. Find a little tug of the elbows back into space. Press the tops of the feet down into the ground. Bring your left arm in at a little diagonal. Pull your right heel towards your sit bone. Reach around with your right hand to grab your right foot. Thigh stretch. Create a soft little kick of your foot into your hand. And pull the heel towards the bum. Check in with your even fluctuation of the breath. Is your breath longer? Is your exhale longer? Or is your inhale longer? And if so, can you find a way to make your breath even if it's having a little count happening in the back of your head? Release your foot. Pull the knees back in towards the midline. Second side, pull your opposite heel towards your bum. Reach around and grab your foot. Even I kick over my own water bottle sometimes. And breathe. Release. Now this one is different for all of our bodies. We all have a different biomechanical makeup, even though biomechanics are roughly the same. So bring your elbows forward and bring your hands to rest on your chin like a little Home Alone style here. And then walk your elbow tips forward, quite a bit more forward than maybe you think, and you're looking for an opening in your upper back. So I feel like I'm at a really good spot here, but keep exploring until you feel some pressure in the upper mid back. Press your elbow tips into the ground. Think about spreading your shoulders wide from east to west. See if that helps. It helps some people to actually let their elbows go wider. And if you walk your elbows too far forward and it doesn't feel like you're getting the opening that you desire, practice just walking them back a little bit more. Take about 3 more breaths here, working to open up through the thoracic spine, that upper mid back. Release yourself to the earth. Bring your arms to a cactus shape. Hike your right knee up towards your right hip. Walk your right hand fingertips in and pull your right shoulder into the socket. Your left arm is still at a goalpost or a cactus. Begin to pivot to the outside edge of your left hip. Maybe your right foot plants behind you, maybe it doesn't, so it doesn't really matter. You're looking for a chest stretch here. You can lift your head up, or you can let your head be on the earth here. And breathe. Breathe into the front of the body. And come all the way back through center. Second side. Bring the right arm to your cactus. Your left leg comes up and walk your left hand fingertips in. Pull the left shoulder in. Begin to pivot to the outside edge of your right hip. And breathe into that front body. And come all the way back through center. Now, bring your hands wide, like about as wide as your mat or wider than your mat. Think thumbs off the mat, but fingertips off of the mat. Come on to tentative fingertips. Pull the belly in for a moment. Let your pelvis be heavy. Start to lift up through the chest, through your shoulders. Pull your shoulders back. Wrap the elbows in and let the head lift last. Gecko pose. Take an inhalation. Exhale, dip your left shoulder down, look over the right. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, dip your right shoulder down and look over the left. Inhale, travel your way back through center. Wrap those elbows in. Notice how that feels for you. And you can also play with letting them go wide as well. What helps you open up the upper back? Exhale, fold it all the way down. Bring your hands by your chest. Press your way up through a tabletop. Tuck your toes. Send your hips all the way up and back, downward facing dog. So in down dog, bring your feet to be about hip distance apart, maybe wider if your legs are pretty tight in the back. Spread wide through your toes, especially your outer pinky toe and the ring finger toe, and bend the knees a little. Squeeze your outer shins in towards the midline, and send your upper inner thighs higher to the sky. Breathe. Lift the head of your arm bones up towards your ears, so you're elevating your shoulders, and wrap your triceps down towards the yoga mat, almost like you're trying to like squeeze a grape in your armpit. Keep pressing the earth away really strong, almost as if you were like practicing a handstand, trying to press the earth away as much as you can. And as you press that earth away, keep a lift of your forearms. Breathe. Begin to step your feet about as wide as mat's distance apart. Walk your hands all the way back until your heels ground. Bend your knees, keep going. Send your hips so far back into space that it feels like you might fall backwards. Your hips should be behind your heels. Begin to bring a block underneath your hands if you have it. Otherwise, come on to fingertips. Now, it's not really a forward fold because there's a hinge happening here. Keep hinging the weight back. Pull navel to spine. Pull the base of the ribs back into space and breathe more into the back of your body here. Hug your outer shins in towards the midline, finding a sense of stability and strength. Send your upper inner thighs back into space. Broaden through your sit bones. Inhale, halfway lift. Glide your hands up your shins. Grab your hips. Press down and out through the power of your legs as you rise to stand. Step back to a comfortable hip distance stance. Again, it's probably wider than you always give yourself. It was for me for a while. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up. Let's hold opposite elbows here. Bring your ears in line with your upper arm. So if your arms are forward, pull the elbows back into space. Reach your elbow tips high to the sky. Take an inhalation. And as you exhale, begin to side bend all the way over towards the left and keep going. Little bend of the knees. Take it all the way to a forward fold and come up and out the other way. So you can take a few of these kind of fast, more dynamic spinal circles. And then once you've done 3 in the direction that you're going, take it in the other direction. Again, a little bend of the knees. Practice pressing down into your feet as you rise back up. And you'll land back through center. Inhale, reach your arms high to the sky. Catch your right wrist, side bend up and over towards your left. Tug on that wrist. Inhale through center, switch your clasp. Take that side bend up and over the opposite way. Inhale, rise through center. As you exhale, chair pose. Let your hips go back into space. Make sure that your stance feels supportive. So roughly the heels are just about hip distance apart. You can always adjust if needed. Take an inhalation here. Exhale, twist, and as you twist, step your left foot back. Let your hips twist with you. Bring your left arm back into space. Keep widening the right knee towards the pinky toe mound. Inhale, come back through center, step through a neutral chair. Exhale, twist the other way. So you're kind of letting your hip move with you so that your SI joint doesn't get too grumpy here. Inhale, come back through center. Utkatasana, chair pose. Take an inhale. Exhale, sink your hips a little lower. 2 more like that. Breath in. Exhale, option to sink down a notch more. Inhale. Exhale, sink. Bring your arms behind you. Clasp your hands. Inhale, lift up through the heart. Exhale, bound forward. Fold. Keep a little bend of your knees here. Bending the knees just allows the femur bone to go farther back into space, into the hip socket when you fold. Shake your head out, yes or no. Release your hands. Move your block off of your mat. Crawl all the way forward and land in a plank position. And press the earth away nice and strong. Pull your hands and your feet towards each other. Inhale, shift your shoulders past your wrist. Exhale, lower down for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Find a prone position. Stretch your arms back by your hips. Pull the low belly up and away from the earth, and inhale, lift up through your arms and through your legs, Shalabhasana. Inhale, get a little bit more length here. Exhale, lower just like an inch. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower an inch. Inhale, lift an inch. Exhale, lower an inch. So you use the inflation of the lungs to lift. 2 more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. Bring your hands by your chest. Press your way up through a tabletop. Bring your toes together. Let your knees stay wide. Shift your hips back to a child's pose. Make this child's pose nice and active. Lift your shoulders up and away from the ears so you have that elevation of the shoulder. And wrap your outer arms down. From the back of the heart, stretch out long through your arms. My head is lifted here simply so that I'm not muffling the speaker, but your head is likely on the earth. Walk your right hand fingertips over towards the right. Bring your left hand towards the right fingertips. Take a big breath, breathe into the left side body. Stay rooting through the left sit bone to the left heel. And hands come back through center, second side. Left hand comes towards the left, right hand towards the right. Take a big breath and breathe into that right side body. As you exhale, melt the right sit bone back towards the heel. Inhale, travel your way back through center. Thread the needle, weave your left arm through the right. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, thread the needle the other way. Come all the way back through center. Rise up to sit on your heels. Shift your hips off to one side and find your way into a seat. Let's start with a butterfly pose. Bring the soles of the feet together. Bring your feet close towards your pelvis. Grab for your feet. Now, if your knees are like way up high, it may be helpful to sit on a block here. Ideally, we want our knees below that upper hip point, so I actually could benefit from some height here. I should lead by example instead of being lazy and not grabbing the prop. So you could stay upright, or if it's something that you want to do that you often do in your practice, you can also fold. There will be more chances for folding, so know that that's there in a moment. From the groins, stretch out through the inner thighs, out through the inner knees. The knees are trying to travel closer to the earth through the power of the muscle rather than force. And breathe. Deep ujjayi breath in and out through the nose. All right. More of a diamond shape in your legs now. Bring the feet slightly farther away from you. It isn't as easy to grab the feet here. Maybe you grab your shins. Inhale and start to kind of pull on your shins. The knees may lift up a little. That's okay. And as you exhale, option to come forward with the heart space and lead with the heart as you reach all the way forward, head towards the feet. And you could also stay upright with this one as well. Take 3 more cycles of breath where you're at. Allow the breath to be deep and full. And the consistency in the breath turns them into an almost rhythmic process where you get lost in the postures because you're so honed into the cycle of the breath. Begin to come all the way back up. Pull your left leg in towards your pelvis. Stretch your right leg out long. Point the toes straight up. And this one's called Janu Sirsasana. Couple options. You could just come through the center and maybe rest your forearms on a block. If it feels really tight for you, it may feel better to have a little bend of your knee and practice just staying upright through your spine, pointing the toes straight up. If you would like, you can take an upright twist towards your straight leg and allow yourself to fold over that leg. If you do so, bring the left hand to the outside edge of the foot or the shin, right hand fingertips to the outside edge of the shin on the earth. Take an inhale, lift the right side of the belly up and away from your thigh. And as you exhale, a soft little pull, bringing the chest over the thigh. This is more of a closed style twist as we are folding over the front leg. And we're twisting over it, if this is the variation you're taking. Notice where you feel a sensation in this posture. Begin to bring your right hand to the inside edge of the shin or grab for the outside edge of the foot. Reach your upper arm towards the ceiling and then way in line with your ear. Lift up a little bit through the trunk, wrap your right torso underneath you. So now you're twisting open towards the sky from the right rib cage underneath to the left. Stay heavy through your left sit bone as you stretch long through that left side body. Eventually, maybe one day, you're able to grab your foot, but for me, I'm kind of compensating there. I can't do it while staying open, so I stay lifted up. Heavy down into the pelvis, inhale and rise through center. Ground your left hand. Inhale, come up onto your left shin and rise up, stargazer pose. Pull your bottom shoulder back into space. Slowly release your hips back down to the earth. Second side, switch it up. So you know your options here. If you felt that throughout that change you started tucking under a little bit more, pull the flesh of the butt back on each side. Take an inhalation. And as you exhale, find whatever form you chose on the other side, whether it's coming through the inner edge, resting on a block, or coming over that thigh. So it would be left hand to the outside edge of the left thigh or right hand to the outside edge of the left foot. As you inhale, breathe into the back of your body, lift to the left side of your torso. Exhale and twist. Allow yourself to round as you twist. Inhale, start to rise up a little. Left hand comes to the outside edge of the foot or shin, or the inside edge of the shin. Reach your right arm up towards the sky and then just keep going. Pinky points down as you reach way in line with your ear. The right sit bone tends to get a little bit light here, so stay heavy through that right sit bone as you stretch long through the right side body. If the head feels heavy, another thing you can do is bend your elbow and hold your head. I always struggle with keeping my head aligned. I have a weak neck. And press down and out through the power of the leg, the pelvis. Rise up, ground your right hand, lift up, bring your pelvis forward as you cactus your left arm back. And as you exhale, release yourself back to the earth. Begin to make your way down onto your back, little mini Shavasana shape. As you arrive on your back, pause for a moment and begin to bend your knees. Reach your right leg high to the sky. Interlace your hands around your right thigh. Give an active press of the thigh into the hand as you pull the thigh back into space. Option to stretch your left leg out long. If you do so, make sure to keep your left leg nice and active. Press the left thigh into the earth with a subtle internal rotation. And create some nice big circles with your right toes in one direction. And take those nice circles with your toes in the opposite direction. Begin to walk your hands up the back of the calf if you have that range of motion, or if you want to go to that range. And then bring the right hand to the outside edge of your foot. Bend your right knee. Half happy baby. You could also hold your knee instead of your foot. Pull your foot down towards the earth at the same time as you press your foot up into your hand. And breathe. Begin to bend your left knee. Pull the left knee in. Guide your right ankle on top of your left knee and interlace your hands around your left thigh. Figure 4 on your back. Use your right elbow to widen the right thigh bone away from you if you want more intensity. And get curious about the tuck of your pelvis here. I don't like to say there's anything wrong or right, but if you untuck your tail and pull your low back in, it moves your left knee farther away from you, and it kind of changes the stretch. And most of the time when we're in this shape, our low back presses down into the ground, and there's what's called a slight posterior tilt in your pelvis. So maybe rock it a few times and pause wherever it feels interesting to you. Maybe you try a slightly different pelvic tilt than you normally would in this figure 4 shape, Suchirandrasana. Begin to release your hands from your left thigh. Send your figure 4 legs over towards the left. Bring the left hand to grab the top of the right foot. Stretch your right arm out to a cactus or a T. The right knee is still going up towards the sky. If you're looking for more of a deeper spinal twist, you can collapse the right knee on top of the left. And breathe. And with your exhales, practice melting your right shoulder blade down towards the earth if it hasn't made contact yet. Bring your intention back to your focus. What are you cultivating today on your mat? Engage through your core, the obliques. Release your foot. Inhale, bring your legs back their center and unwind. Pause, either with both feet grounded or both legs extended. Second side, flex your toes back. Inhale, reach your left leg up. Interlace your hands around your left thigh. Give a nice push of your thigh into your hands, and at the same time pull back. Press the right thigh bone down. Create some nice juicy circles through your toes in one direction. Begin to rewind. Take those nice big circles in the opposite direction. Begin to walk your hands up the back of the calf or grab for your foot. Bend your left knee, half happy baby. Pull your foot down as you simultaneously press your foot into the hand. Press the right thigh bone down. Bend your right knee. Cross your left ankle over the right knee. Interlace your hands around your left thigh. And again, untucking the tail as an anterior tilt. Tucking the tail as a posterior tilt. Find something that feels slightly different than maybe what you're used to. The practice of yoga is really a practice where we both learn our boundaries, but also begin to expand our boundaries as we begin to expand our capacity to sit in moments of discomfort. The practice isn't always comfortable, but that discomfort, knowing that we're safe in maybe an uncomfortable position, that is what trains us off of the mat as well. And really for all of the challenges that happen in life. Take a breath here. Release your hands from your thigh, and nothing else changes. You just swivel those hips over. Right hand grabs left foot. Engage with your left glute to send the left knee higher to the sky. Your gaze is either through central, or you shift your gaze over to the left. Channel that core strength. Inhale, come all the way back through center. Unwind through your legs. Ground both feet. Pause. Find happy baby full position. So you can grab for the knees. That's really great. It allows you to honor the spinal curve, that low back curve. You can also grab for the thighs, the ankles, or the feet. Now, if you're the happy baby person who lifts their butt up like that and the whole back is pressing down, like that, I haven't done that in a long time. It doesn't feel good though, and it's not really the pose. So, I mean, do it if it feels good for you and you like it, but it's not the healthiest pattern. So try to untuck through the tail, get your back nice and long, and if that's not possible because the hamstrings are so tight, no problem, grab for the shins or maybe even the thighs. And if you do that, it gives you the opportunity to also straighten out through your legs without having a big rounded spine and flexion. Bring your legs all the way back through center. Lift your shoulder blades off the mat. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. Take an inhalation. And as you exhale, stretch your legs out long and your arms by your sides for a shavasana shape. Take a full inhale. Sip in a little more at the top. And open mouth, let it go, HA. I encourage you to take the next couple minutes to truly rest and be in the shavasana shape. If you're short on time, then give yourself just maybe 5 deep breaths. As always, it is such a pleasure teaching. If you want to practice with me more, please comment, let me know what you are enjoying, what you'd like to practice more of. Delight in me, but how to delight in you. Namaste.